If it means getting out of prison for a crime he didn't commit, Steve Rogers is going to have to make some very strange new friends indeed. All this and more in the pages of Captain America issue number 10. Let's hop on in together and find out what happens next, shall we? Alrighty then, so as we join the comic, we see the Invisible Woman coming to meet the Daughters of Liberty's inside man inside Baron Strucker's prison. Some of you may actually have been able to guess the identity of the mole in the previous issue. Turns out it's Thunderball, and that riot he started in the previous issue was all to try and help Captain America out, not hurt him. His meeting with Sue Storm is actually really hilarious because he demands to be called Dr. Elliot, and truly after palling around with the Wrecking Crew for so long, I forgot this dude is an actual doctor. He says, hey, I don't call you Invisible Girl anymore, everyone calls you Invisible Woman, so please call me Doctor, not Thunderball. Now, seeing as their initial plan to get Steve out failed, it looks like they're going to have to try that much harder and get that much more creative. It also means Thunderball is really going to have to show just how dedicated he is to this cause and takes a strange, mysterious injection from Sue. Now, the next day, we get treated to Steve Rogers' internal monologue. It seems that his time in prison has given him a lot of opportunities to think. He says that at the end of the day, being a street-level hero has to be way harder than what he's been doing. Used to be he'd just punch a Nazi or a war criminal or a rampaging alien warlord and know that he was always right, but here, getting to see the people in the funny costumes, getting to hear their stories, their mothers crying for them, it starts to shake Cap's resolve a little bit. Again, he still knows what's right and what's wrong, and a lot of these guys are definitely wrong, as they are poorly dressed too, but still. It's hard for Steve to hear their stories and not be just a little moved, and he's gonna need all the help he can get if he's gonna be in for the long haul, so it looks like when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and it looks like Steve is gonna have to find out how the other half lives and actually make some friends. Now from there, we transition on over to Alexander Lukin. We see that he's actively trying to rebuild his Cronus Corporation, which is why we haven't seen him for a little bit. We also hear that he is getting an earful from the Foreigner right now. In the last issue, we saw that the Dryad, the mysterious agent working for the Daughters of Liberty and Sharon Carter, have been going around and destroying all of his business interests, and he knows that the Lukins are to blame for this. Alexander wants no division and no loose ends at this important point in the plan of him and his wife, and because of that, he figures that if this assassin is gonna go rogue, he better hire more assassins to make sure the old assassin doesn't talk, which honestly doesn't sound like great business acumen, but hey, you do you, man. It's even stranger still that Lukin, who despises Hydra so greatly, that his first choice in assassins is Sin and Crossbones, aka the daughter and son-in-law of the Red Skull. Then I'm reminded further, oh yeah, wait, the Red Skull is still in Lukin's mind after the resurrection, isn't he? It's just no one knows yet. Now back in the prison, Baron von Strucker takes Steve out for his daily torture, and what is it today? Well, it's an electrified cage match, brother, one night only. Naturally, Strucker, being the warden of this place, isn't gonna pick a fight he doesn't think he can win, and because of that, he actively goes out of his way to dampen Captain America's powers. Steve is still an excellent hand-to-hand combatant, but he can only last so long against odds this rigged. Luckily, he won't have to last for long because his inside man Thunderball begins to spring his plan, getting himself taken to the infirmary, where we discover that serum the Invisible Woman gave him is actually some sort of strange EMP device that manages to shut off all power to the prison. And as the comic winds down and all the prisoners are finally free, Captain America opines to himself for once he's less afraid of them than the warden should be. And so that was Captain America issue number 10, everybody, and overall, while I'm still very much enjoying this story, I will admit this issue went really fast, all things considered. I did getting to see Thunderball have some funny lines and interactions with heroes where he's not getting beaten up. It's funny that of all the members of the Wrecking Crew, he's the one who routinely gets a solo push. The real meat, though, is of course seeing Captain America challenge a bunch of ideals that he's had for a very long time by forcing him into a situation he's never really been before, being a prisoner, seeing how prisoners live. He knows they're wrong, he knows they've made bad decisions in life, but at the same time, Steve is like the best good dude in the world, and he hates to see such suffering. You have to wonder, once he clears his name, how's this situation gonna change Captain America? Will he actually crusade for changes in the American penal system? I think that could be an interesting story. This is quickly becoming one of those walk a mile in someone else's shoes to understand them better type of story, and that's cool to do with Captain America. Ultimately, I'd give this one a 7.5 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out some of these other videos I have available from the channel. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you're always up to speed on what I'm doing next. And hey, if you're feeling in a supportive mood, you might also want to check out my Patreon link down in the description. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. I would really appreciate it, and until next time everyone, I've been Cape Joel, and I will continue to be making comic book videos that smack of greatness. Bye-bye, everyone.